We are so thrilled to welcome Representative Gloria Johnson, because we always address somebody by their previous office, and you are now running for
current
Congress.
Office.
You're still in office, but you're
Yes.
running for Congress now.
I'm actually running for both.
Oh, you're, holy moly. You can do that?
In Tennessee, it's been the law since the beginning of Tennessee.
Well, we're so glad that you're doing that. And for folks who don't remember, Representative Johnson is one of the Tennessee Three who were standing, with so much fierceness and with such a warrior spirit in the face of gun violence in the aftermath of the shooting at Covenant Grade School.
Yes.
I'm not sure if I have the name of the school correct.
Covenant School.
Covenant School. We've wanted to talk to you for a long time, but I know that everyone on the national level was eager to speak to you. Before we talk about your race right now, tell us a little bit about how much your life changed in those days when you were expelled from the legislature and really this national attention, and still nothing has changed. There's still no sense of urgency when it comes to children being slaughtered in their classrooms.
Well, as a matter of fact, a journalist that I spoke with yesterday said he also talked to some of the leadership at the RNC from Tennessee and asked, would you all do the same thing again after making these folks so known? And they said, yes, we would do the exact same thing again. So they haven't learned a thing. They're such authoritarians that they don't understand when they cut our mics or they take away our voice, it's not about our voice. It's the 70,000 people that each of us represent. That's 210,000 people whose voice they took away. Now, for me, I didn't get expelled. I made it by one vote.
Oh, that's correct.
And my two colleagues, my two black colleagues, Representative Jones and Representative Pearson, were expelled. But I got a few votes that they didn't get, and was able to get through.
And did those legislators who gave you those votes, did they explain anything? Did they have some sort of an excuse as to why you and not your fellow legislators?
Well, it was also pretty racist because it was, the way you talked. Well, I'm a 61-year-old school teacher white lady, I do speak differently. And because... And the fact that they're younger and they speak with more strength, or they not more strength, but with, more urgency, is because of who they are, and that they are young men speaking truth to power. And every single thing that they said was correct, it was accurate, and it's exactly what they should have said. But that told me everything I needed to know. And then, of course, one of the people who voted for me, they got a tape. Someone released a tape from their caucus meeting where they were berating the person, one of the people who voted to keep me. And he said, well, you didn't make the case in her expulsion resolution. Everything you said, you accused her of things she never did. And then he got sort of ostracized from the group. But
wow.
It's a huge mess for them. And it was a horrible thing to have to go through because it was so bad. The guys are younger. And so the night before the expulsion, the ethics lawyer, that makes me laugh, and the head of HR came into my office and said, we just want you to know that if you were to resign tonight, you would keep your health insurance.
Oh.
But if you are expelled, you will lose your health insurance.
And you still decided I will face the vote.
I have serious health conditions that if I have my docs and my medicine, I'm fine. But there was no way I was going to let them twist my arm like that.
They were threatening you.
Yeah, and there are a lot of Tennesseans without health care, and it's only fair that we should all have it. But they were going to try to twist my arm like that. And I found it disgusting. And, of course, I said absolutely not.
Now, to make a little bit of a comparison, our friend Dan Shafer is from Wisconsin, where they have an outrageous senator.
Yes.
Yes, you do. We sure do.
Yeah.
One of them.
Yes, one of them is. And you are taking on a similarly outrageous Congressperson, Marsha Blackburn.
Yes.
Tell us what motivated you. I've done this at this level. It's now time for me to take on the bigger challenge to make sure that Tennessee is going in a better direction.
Right. Right. And that's it. You know, there is no one. We've got a super majority of Republicans in the state legislature who are doing nothing to help regular Tennessee families. And then we've got
that sure sounds familiar to me in Wisconsin.
Yeah, exactly.
With our Republican-controlled state legislature as well. Yeah.
And you know that they're helping the wealthy and well-connected and corporations and doing nothing for regular families. We wanted to take the sales tax off groceries. We have a near 10% sales tax on groceries. We wanted to remove the state portion of the sales tax on groceries, and they wanted to give the first and largest tax cut to corporations. $1.8 billion is what they voted to give corporations as a tax cut. 18% of the corporations were out of state, and 53% of our tax dollars went to 18% of those corporations out of state.
Well, I've talked about this with Patti in the past. I feel like that's the Republicans' one economic policy that they have. They always talk about how they're going to have some sort of solution for inflation, solution for this.
Right.
They hit the same button every single time, and it's always tax cuts for the rich.
Yeah, so, the people who donate to our campaigns.
Right.
And so that is why this administration is so important. This election is so important. Harris and Walz are dead on working for American families. I think of Tennessee families, of course, because I'm from Tennessee, but really focusing on regular, hardworking Americans, that they're the ones who need help. They're giving, Donald Trump will give corporate tax breaks, but it's the middle class and working families that need those tax breaks. That's where we need to be doing it. We know that, 1 million people shopping at Target does more for the economy than 100 people buying yachts. I mean, that does nothing for the economy. So I want Harris-Walz who are going to do that for America.
And when we talk about this campaign and the quickness with which Democrats lined up behind Vice President Harris, what have you seen in Tennessee when it comes to that energy and the impact it will have down ballot in races like yours?
Yeah, there was energy for President Biden before, and then with a switch there was more energy. And so I think a lot of people didn't really calculate that for Tennessee. But it's happening. It is blowing up. And here's a big reason why. You have to think about that day of the expulsion. That was Thursday. The very next day, Friday, Vice President Harris cleared her schedule for the entire day and came to Tennessee to an HBCU, Fisk University, met with us, and then talked to a hurting community, a community devastated by gun violence. She was there when Tennessee needed her.
What kind of actions have you taken in the face of possibly folks denying the results of the election in Tennessee for your race?
This is really a problem situation because what our Secretary of State just did sent out more than 14,000 letters to naturalized citizens that threatened, at the beginning of the letter, it threatens you may be committing a felony if you vote.
Oh, my goodness.
And then at the end of the letter, you can remove yourself from the voting rolls here. And so, yes.
Voluntarily remove themselves out of fear, like they did to you when they intimidated you.
It's voter intimidation.
Wow.
There is no question about it, because here's what they did. They said, we sent the letter out because we checked the voter rolls with the DMV records. And they could have checked multiple databases that update immigration status. They checked the one database that doesn't update immigration status.
Oh, my God.
So by statute, they're supposed to send shenanigans. By statute, our Tennessee statute says they're supposed to submit the list to the county election commissions. Because counties can check that. They didn't. They send letters directly to the naturalized citizens. And we know that several hundred at least have removed their names from the voter rolls. Then in Knox County, where I'm from, you show up at the polls and there were these signs there with no paid for by, yellow signs with black writing, English and Spanish. You could be committing a felony if you are an immigrant and you vote.
Wow. I know you're on a tight schedule. Everyone's waiting for you. One last question. How can we support your race? Where should people go to learn more, donate, volunteer, all the things that is necessary to get you across the finish line?
Absolutely. They can go to votegloriajohnson.com. They can donate. They can sign up to volunteer if you're out of state. you can phone bank from home. We can set you up.
Outstanding. Thank you so much, Representative Johnson. We wish you the very best in your race. We're here for you. If you ever want to come back on the phone, call us and engage us because we are ready to go.
All right.
We're here for you.
Thanks
Thank you so
much.
Have a wonderful rest of your evening. I know it's going to be a spectacular night.